This is Augustana Sportscene, a weekly update on Viking athletics at South Dakota's largest private college. Enjoy the action and excitement of NCAA Division II athletics at Augustana.
Welcome to Augustana Sportscene. On this week's show, we will fire up our Augustana Sports Update. We'll also visit with basketball coaches Tom Billiter and Dave Krauth. A little later in the program, we'll wrap up the football season as we visit with head coach Mike Aldrich. And we'll take a look at what's ahead on the Augustana Sports calendar for this week. So let's get the action rolling. Here comes Augustana Sports Update for this week.
Augie Sports Update is brought to you by Schoenemann's.
Last Saturday, the Augustana women's cross-country team hit the gold as they won the NCAA Division II National Championship at the meet held in Spokane, Washington. The Vikings edged Western State of Colorado by 4 points to claim their first national title. This group of Augustana student athletes joined the 1991 women's softball team as the two Viking teams that have won national championships. The Augustana ladies won the championship with a total team effort, led by Leah Hansen finishing 10th. Leah was followed by Runa Falk in 11th, Kristen Bronbo in 13th, and Kyle Blakesley in 16th. The Augustana men also rang strong as they earned 6th place at the national meet. Paul Yak paced the Vikings as he finished 10th. In men's basketball, Coach Tom Billiter's team opened their season with a nail-biting 64-63 victory over the University of Sioux Falls at the arena. The Vikings got out to a 35-28 halftime lead, but the Cougars battled hard in the second half to come back strong. Cody Schilling led Augustana with 28 points. Cameron McCaffrey added 15 points and Dre Murray 12. Then last Friday night, the Vikings picked up their second win of the season as they knocked off St. Martin's of Washington 70-54 at the Western Oregon University Shootout in Monmouth, Oregon. Cameron McCaffrey, an Oregon native making his collegiate debut in his home state, led Augustana with 13 points. Dre Murray, Leif Nomland, and Cody Schilling each added 10 points. The Vikings out-rebounded St. Martin's 41-30 as Derek DeZayal hauled down 9 boards. On Saturday night, Augustana took on the host school, Western Oregon, and saw a 14-point first-half lead evaporate as they dropped a 60-58 decision. Cody Schilling led the Vikings with 16 points, with Dre Murray adding 11 points, 8 rebounds, and 6 assists. Augustana shot just 7 free throws, while Western Oregon made 11 of 17. The Vikings led 58-54 with 4 minutes left, but the Wolves scored the final 6 points. In women's basketball, Coach Dave Krauth's team began their season by splitting a pair of games. The Vikings fell to the University of Sioux Falls 65-59 before coming back to defeat Minot State 66-55 at the Elman Center. In the USF game, Alex Feeney recorded a double-double with 21 points and 10 rebounds. Lydia Nelson and Emily Schulte added 10 points each. Against Minot State, Alex Feeney again had a double-double with 16 points and 12 rebounds. Cammie Coyne tacked on 13 points with Molly Hayes adding 12. Augustana nailed 12 three-pointers in the victory, with Molly Hayes hitting 4 and Cammie Coyne 3 to lead the way. That's our sports update for this week. When we come back, we'll talk Augustana men's basketball with Coach Tom Billiter. Stay with us.
Augustana Sportscene is brought to you by Sanford Health, improving the human condition. By Schoenemann's, your trusted building center since 1888. And by Mid-Continent Communications, part of your community.
The most difficult times require the right team. Where we fight disease, discover cures, and believe in the power of play. That's the art and science of healthcare. The things we do with children every day at Sanford Children's.
When I was young, I loved helping my grandfather with projects. From building a birdhouse to odd jobs around the house, we always got our supplies from Schoenemann's. I remember the smell of the fresh-cut lumber and all the bins full of nails, nuts, and bolts. Today, my projects are a bit bigger, and so is Schoenemann's selection. I rely on them for everything I need.
Schoenemann's in Sioux Falls and Harrisburg. Expert advice, everything you need.
You can always do it right with Schoenemann's.
The all-new midsize 2012 Passat with dual-zone automatic climate control, Bluetooth, and scheduled carefree maintenance included. The Passat has more premium standard features than its competitors. That's the power of German engineering.
Hey, you always make my day.
How do you hold a moment? Keep friends and family close. Witness the passage of time. Replay the glory days. Relive magical nights. Create memories to share. How do you capture a lifetime? One picture at a time. Life Touch. Photography for a lifetime.
Hi, I'm Chad Greenway of the Minnesota Vikings. I'm a big fan of how youth sports can help kids stay physically fit. But as an athlete and a parent, I'm also very concerned about safety. Millions of sports-related concussions happen every year, and many go unrecognized. That's alarming because the wrong treatment can slow recovery, worsen the condition, or lead to permanent damage. Please learn the facts about concussions and help protect our young athletes.
To learn more, visit sanfordhealth.org/heads-up.
The Augustana Men's Basketball Report is brought to you by Sanford Health.
We're right after the game here at the Sioux Falls Arena. The Vikings taking on the University of Sioux Falls, coming out on top in a wild finish here, 64-63. Tom, first win of the season. Your thoughts?
Yeah, well, you know, compliment USF. They played a great game, and Skylar Block was just for a while unstoppable inside, and they did a great job putting him in spots to get the ball, and the guards got him the ball. You know, they hit some key shots to kind of get a rally going, and to be honest, we weren't very sharp, you know, and I'm not taking that away from USF, but we were 11 for 20 from the free throw line. You know, we shot like, I haven't seen the stats, but I know we were like maybe 4 for whatever from 3, like 4 for 15 or 20, yet we shot 50% for the game. So obviously we were a little out of kilter and not doing things really the way we should. But, you know, they played great. It was a fun game. It's a rivalry type game. The fans got their money's worth. And I knew they would play their best game of the year. And I knew our guys had been told all week how great they were, and we don't handle that well.
Yeah, well, anyway, it's a win, and we're 1-0. Tom, we're talking before we went on the air here. Our strength, obviously, offensively was on the outside. Cody Schilling with 28, Cam McCaffrey and Dre in double figures. Good ball games for them. Concern about the inside game.
Well, and I like our inside game. You know, Leif in the last 2 games with Minnesota, the exhibition game, he gets in foul trouble so fast and so early, and he's just got to play. In my opinion, with big kids, you've got to look the part. And when you're standing straight, not in your stance, and you're kind of, you know, I think he's drawing some calls that maybe not other guys get, but you're straight up and you're not in your stance and you're late on everything, you know. So he keeps getting in foul trouble and we never get him going. And so really tough game for him to get in the flow, and I just didn't think any of our bigs, to be real honest, did a phenomenal job. I thought they all were a little rough, you know, offensively. Obviously, we had 2 touches in the entire game that led to scores, but even defensively, a lot of second shots and just not. It was not a great performance. Trying not to take anything away from USF, but what a great game for us to learn from and get better.
Well, the Vikings come out with a victory here at 1-0. We're filming this, as we said, right after the game because Coach and his team Thursday morning heads out to Oregon for a tournament out there, classic out there, and it begins as the Vikings take on a good St. Martin's team.
Well, St. Martin's was very good last year. They had a 6'8", 300-pound senior, thank God, who was the player of the year in their league. So they're a little bit down young. They'll be good out there. And Western Oregon is really good. They brought in a new coach. He brought in a ton of transfers. They beat Hawaii Hilo by 23 last weekend in Hawaii, which is unheard of. Only lost to Chaminade by 11. Those are tough places to play. So Western Oregon on their home court will be a whale of a challenge. And then we come back Tuesday. So we'll play 2 games out there Friday, Saturday, get back Sunday about midnight, and then we got to play again Tuesday against Dakota State. And they beat us last year. It was a lot of the same kids. So,
yeah, the non-conference run here. Yeah, well, Coach, special for Cam McCaffrey also. He's from Oregon, and we're heading back out there.
We've always done that. If a kid's going to come that far from home, I need to recruit a kid from Hawaii. You know, we just got the England. You and I are going to have to talk. I just got the England kid to commit, so we'll be heading over to England. So, but I like to do that for kids that come and make that commitment that far from home, and I guarantee he'll be ready to go, and he'll have a ton of family there.
Well, Tom, it's a long, long season. We got number 1 here on the left side of the column, so get the troops ready and go after them.
Thanks, Bill.
The Augustana Women's Basketball Report with Coach Dave Krauth is next.
I love learning.
I believe in service. I am full of passion.
I embody sportsmanship.
I trust in my resourcefulness.
I like balance.
That's why I chose.
I chose. I chose
Division II.
My eye was a tumor and it hurts in my head and it's right here. I have 3 favorite colors, red, pink, and purple. I like to draw fairies, princesses, and clothes. I want to be, when I grow up, a clothes modeler. It models clothes. This is my victory.
You may have met one. The teachers who challenge. The ones who motivate. The ones who can fire imagination. The ones, in short, that you'll find at Augustana. Now, maybe you don't believe that one college could have so many great professors. If so, you're in for an education. Augustana.
Why do you play? Why go through all the pain? The endless practices? For the victories? For the joy of playing the game? Or do you play for something even greater? If you already know the answer, we're the network for you. Midco Sportsnet. This is how we do sports.
The Augustana Women's Basketball Report is brought to you by Mid-Continent Communications.
With me now is Augustana women's basketball coach Dave Krauth. Well, Dave, the season is here. The Vikings are off to the races, and it started last Tuesday night out at the arena as we took on the University of Sioux Falls, a very good basketball team, a hard-fought game, and we came up a little short.
Yeah, it was it was a tough starter for us. There may be, in what probably will become a real natural rival to us, a little that added emotion. It's hard to say. We have just a lot of untested kids. Molly Hayes was coming back after 3 weeks out in a couple practices and was not ready. And then Lydia Nelson got hurt in the first half, and those things, they all added up. We don't make some shots, and we probably gave them some that we wish we wouldn't have. And, we lost to a good team, and I kept looking up in the second half saying, we're not playing very well, and yet we still got shots. And so, sometimes you can take some positives from losses too.
Yeah, well, Alex Feeney had a great game with a double-double.
Very good, very good. Alex has been practicing well, and I've commented to her, which I don't generally run around telling them when they're doing great in practice, but she's just doing more things now and rebounding better. Was kind of a shooter over the last couple of years, and now is trying to add to her game, and I think she's going to be a steady force for us.
Yeah, well, she had a great one out there against USF. Well, then on Saturday afternoon, the Vikings got back to the Elman Center, and we took on another new member that's coming into the NSIC next year, Minot State. And it was a hard-fought one again, Dave, but we came out on top, 66-55.
And Minot is a little bit of a different team. They play a very big lineup and will zone you, and in this case, the whole game. So it was a little different type of a challenge for us. And I thought we took some steps forward. We got better play out of our point guard position. Molly is, getting a few more days under her belt now at practicing. Alex had another solid game for us. We had to, Lydia Nelson didn't play, so we had to play our 2 freshman bigs much more minutes, and I thought they gave us some good minutes, and yet missed some bunnies and stuff that probably would have given us a chance maybe to get a cushion, but Cammie came in, hit a couple shots again like she did against USF, and so we just got some play out of a variety of people where they showed some promise, and I think this will be a team that will improve as the year goes on.
Well, as we were talking before we went on the air, only one senior on this team, Molly Hayes, and some young players, new players that we're seeing into the rotation, and the Vikings certainly look like they have a lot of promise. Well, Dave, you get a little break in here in terms of it's probably good with Lydia's injury and some practice through the Thanksgiving, and then another tough one here on Saturday afternoon at 3. a game that seems to be always hotly contested. The Vikings take on Mount Marty.
Mount Marty will be a little different type of team. You know, they have kind of spread the floor and a lot of dribble drive action, which has become kind of in vogue in basketball in recent years, but they're pretty good at it. You know, they've got some local kids that also add some interest to the game because they do, you know, have recruit, but also have a couple of good players, or Yankton, Baltic, you know, places like that, and it drums up interest. So it'll be a different kind of a test after what I think is kind of a good couple days during the Thanksgiving break to give our kids a chance to get home and do some of that.
Dave, how do you handle the Thanksgiving here? Do you take a little break or do you keep them going?
Yeah, no, we'll take probably Tuesday and Wednesday off. And Tuesday, I'm trying to ask them to maybe get a session in before they take off. And then Wednesday, we'll come back Thursday night. And so we've had essentially 2 practices and then back at it.
Okay. Well, the Vikings, of course, battling here in the Northern Sun. It's early, but thoughts on the conference?
You know, I looked last night, and 8 of our 14 teams already have wins and losses in the first week. Now, that's playing a non-conference schedule, but it tells you a little bit about the balance in our league, as well as probably the balance of women's basketball throughout the region as well. So, you know, I think Wayne is the team to beat. Picked number 1. Winona's going to be good, and so you're going to have some front runners, but it's just going to be balanced down through about a dozen teams.
Right. Well, that's fun for you fans out there, not too fun for the coach. But the Vikings and Mount Marty, 3 o'clock Saturday here at the Elman Center. Get on over here. Good luck, Dave.
Thanks, Bill.
Up next, Augie Sports Focus. Stay with us.
The all-new midsize 2012 Passat with dual-zone automatic climate control, Bluetooth, and scheduled carefree maintenance included. The Passat has more premium standard features than its competitors. That's the power of German engineering.
I was half the person I used to be, literally. I knew that if I didn't have the strength that I'd back in my body, I'd never be able to ride my Harley again, and that was one of my other goals I had, was to be able to get back on the bike. Just being able to get out and experience, you know, the area and the surroundings on the back of a bike is so much different than being in a car. You can smell the smells as you drive through, you can hear the sounds. It's just great. This is my victory.
Travel these parts like we have, and you can't miss it. Pride. Pride in who we are, where we're going, and where we want to be. It brings us together, makes us better. We've learned some truths along the way. Talent. It isn't measured by geography. Small town doesn't mean small time. And every battle is epic to those in the fight. This is how we do sports.
The Northern Sun Intercollegiate Conference. With 6-team national championships since 2006 and 18 individual national champions, the NSIC has developed into the premier Division II conference in the upper Midwest. The NSIC boasts 14 schools competing in 17 sports, all committed to one common goal: athletic and academic excellence. The Northern Sun Intercollegiate Conference, a proud member of NCAA Division II athletics.
When I was young, I loved helping my grandfather with projects. From building a birdhouse to odd jobs around the house, we always got our supplies from Schoenemann's. I remember the smell of the fresh cut lumber and all the bins full of nails, nuts, and bolts. Today, my projects are a bit bigger, and so is Schoenemann's selection. I rely on them for everything I need.
Schoenemann's in Sioux Falls and Harrisburg. Expert advice, everything you need.
You can always do it right with Schoenemann's.
Augie Sports Focus is brought to you by Schoenemann's.
Joining me now is Augustana head football coach Mike Aldrich. Well, Mike, we finished the 2011 football season at Augustana. The Vikings came out with a 6-5 record, the final game of the season here a couple of weeks ago down at Upper Iowa, and the 6th win of the season for Augustana as we rolled to a 38-7 victory. Your thoughts on that game?
Well, we knew that kind of going into the game that both teams were, we weren't fighting for postseason, which was something that was new to us. But, you know, we had to weather some of the conditions playing on a high school field because they're getting their stadium redone. Last game of the year, it's their senior day. You know, a lot of things that, you know, can really go against you. But we also, they had the all, first team all running back and offensive player of the year. So we were focused on that, plus we were kind of using that as some motivation for our offense because Dejan's also a freshman, and so we wanted to make sure that Dejan had the better day than their running back, and you know, and that's how that ended up. And the most positive part of the game was being able to do to a team that were better than what we did to them, and that's what we had kind of struggled with during the course of the season.
Well, it was a fabulous way to finish the season for the Vikings. And as we finish 2011, we always reflect on the years past. And before we were going on the air here, Mike and I were talking and totaling up the last 4 years, the years that our seniors have played here at Augustana. The Vikings have been 33-15 and set a record, of course, a year ago with 11 wins, an over 70% winning percentage, the best 4 years in Augustana football history. Mike, a lot to be proud of in this senior class.
Well, you know, they've given everything that we could ask of them and gave this program a lot of wins. Their senior year, unfortunately, was the first year in their careers that we haven't been playing into December, which I know that they're not finishing it the way that they wanted to, but they've definitely done great things to put this program on the map, being a part of a lot of great teams. And the one good thing is that you can always say about that group is they've always been winners. Every season that they've been a part of was a winning season.
Yeah, they played 3 seasons in the stadium, and certainly a thrill for all those guys here, kind of in the new era of Augustana football. Well, Mike, a week or so ago, the all-conference team came out, and certainly rewarding. We had 16 players on that all-conference team. Talk about your thoughts on that.
Well, you know, the kind of the neat thing is that typically when you're not a high winning percentage team, you don't get a lot of representation on the all-conference ballot. Last year when we did well, we had I want to say 17, which was the most we've ever had. So to be 6-5 and still get 16 kids that other coaches appreciated and noticed, that was pretty big for us. And not to mention we had 5 first-team defensive players, more than any one team in the conference. So, you know, it bodes well to, you know, understand that although our record wasn't great, mediocre was kind of the word that we've used with the team. We were a lot better than the way the record was, and we just there were a couple games where we just didn't show it. But as far as having great players, there's no doubt about that.
Well, you know, we had some tough losses. Snake bit a little bit in some other games, but 5 games and we lost by 25 points. So we were right there, and a couple of them, of course, are 1, 2, 3 points. So that makes the difference in a season sometimes between you know, winning some more and ending up where we ended up. Well, Mike, it's recruiting time now. You're gearing up. December 1st, you can hit the road. I know it's tough to say at this point where we're going, but because you look for all positions, but as you look at the team and the areas of the team, where do you see the biggest needs?
Well, I mean, if you look at our team and what we've got coming back that'll take the field next year, but we're doing pretty well. I mean, we've got a lot of really good players that played a lot of playing time and are pretty special. So, I mean, we're excited about what our future holds. I mean, obviously you want to recruit all areas. I think the area that we started focusing on last year that will probably always be our most important area is going to be in the trenches, our offense and defensive line. So, you know, we'll continue to hit that hard, but that's, you know, kind of the same area that everybody's going to be. They're pretty valuable guys. You know, typically it's only moms that really love those big 300-pounders, but when it comes to coaching, so do we.
Yeah, well, you know, one of the things that a season like this does is kind of get you re-energized and eager to get back at it, and I know the guys weren't happy with the season. So the off season's important, the program in the weight room, spring ball and all of that, and the the signing date's coming up in February. So Mike, good luck here as you go along the trail, and congratulations on a winning season.
All right, appreciate that.
The Augustana Sports Calendar is next. We'll be right back.
Here's to all you crazies. You, the hometown diehards, the fanatics. That's what a fan is after all. You live or die by what happens on the field, on the court, and in your heart every time your team plays. So, let your freak flag fly. We're here for you. Midco Sportsnet. This is how we do sports.
With every click of a LifeTouch camera, a school memory is captured. Education benefits. And children are safer. LifeTouch School Portraits. Great things come from great pictures.
They're not that easy to come by. The teachers who engage us. The truly gifted ones. The ones whose words stay with us for days or even years. The odds are you'll only know a few of them. Unless you go to Augustana. Then your chances are greatly improved. Augustana.
There's just times that there's a lot of darkness. I would be in church looking at the PowerPoint and just thinking, this could be my funeral, this could be my pictures up there. The day came when I could actually stand in front of our congregational family and I could sing a solo, and that was so huge because I had forgotten how beautiful a song could be in my heart. My word is celebrate.
The Augustana Sports Calendar is brought to you by Sanford Health.
Let's take a look at the Augustana Sports Calendar for this week. Tuesday, November 22nd, men's basketball takes on Dakota State at the Elman Center at 7 o'clock. Thursday, November 24th, happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Saturday, November 26th, women's basketball plays Mount Marty College at the Elman Center at 3 o'clock. And remember, for radio coverage of Augustana basketball, you can hear the men on KIKN FM 100.5 and worldwide at KIKN.com. And the Augustana ladies can be heard on KXRB AM 1000 and worldwide at KXRB.com. And remember, for complete information on Augustana athletics, go to our website, goaugie.com. That's it for this week's show. This is Bill Gross thanking you for watching, and I hope you'll join me again at this same time next week for another edition of Augustana Sportscene. Have a great week, everybody.
You've been watching Augustana Sportscene, a weekly update on NCAA Division II athletics at South Dakota's largest private college. Learn more about Augustana College in Sioux Falls at augie.edu.